Keep quiet. Wash fast and go and buy food for my daughter. What do you want to eat, my princess?
Rice and chicken, please. Mom, I need to bath before I sleep and we don't have water at home.
Don't worry, Amara. We go and fetch water for you. Go to the river and fetch water for her.
Auntie, it is dangerous to go to the river this night.
Keep quiet.
In many villages, people say, an orphan cries twice. Once, when they lose their parents, and again, when the world reminds them they are alone. This is the story of a girl who arrived at a new home, carrying nothing but a small bag and a heart full of memories. She thought she was going to family. She didn't know she was walking into her greatest trial. Stay with me, because what happens next will touch your heart. The sun was low that afternoon when the villagers gathered around a small wooden house at the edge of the community. Inside that house lay silence, the heavy kind. 18-year-old Amara sat on the floor, her eyes dry from too many tears. Sometimes pain goes beyond crying. Just weeks earlier, sickness had taken both her parents, one after the other. Her father first, then her mother, who whispered with her last breath, "Go to your aunt, she is family, you will be safe." Those words were the only thing keeping Amara strong. Outside, women whispered, "Who will take the girl? She's too young to be alone. Her mother's sister lives in the next village." And so it was decided. Her mother's sister, Auntie Ngozi, would take her in. The next morning, Amara stepped into a crowded bus, carrying only a worn bag and her late mother's wrapper folded carefully inside. The road was rough. Dust filled the air. As the bus moved, memories flooded her mind. Her mother laughing while cooking, her father singing badly but proudly. She pressed her lips together. She told herself, new beginning, new life. She didn't know how wrong she was. Auntie Ngozi's house was large compared to her old home. Children laughed nearby. Chickens moved freely. Smoke rose from the kitchen. At the entrance stood Auntie Ngozi, arms crossed, face unreadable. "Amara," she said flatly. No hug, no smile, just observation. Behind her peeked her daughter, Ada, also 18, beautiful, neatly dressed, bracelets shining under the sunlight. They were almost the same age, but their lives could not have been more different. Amara forced a polite smile. "Auntie, thank you for taking me." Ngozi sighed. "Come in." The door closed behind her, and with that sound, her old life ended. That evening, the family ate together, but Amara noticed something strange. Ada laughed and talked freely. Amara barely spoke. Whenever she reached for food, Ngozi's eyes followed her hand. Later that night, Amara was shown her sleeping space, a thin mat near the kitchen door. She swallowed her disappointment. Maybe this was temporary, she thought. Maybe tomorrow would be better. Morning came early. Before the rooster crowed, a loud voice pierced the air. "Amara, wake up!" She jumped up. Auntie Ngozi stood over her. "Do you plan to sleep all day? Sweep the compound, wash the dishes, fetch water." Amara nodded quickly. She glanced at Ada, still sleeping peacefully. She assumed everyone would help later. They didn't. She swept alone, washed alone, and when breakfast was ready, Ada sat and ate while Amara served everyone. That was the first day, then the second, then the third, and slowly a pattern formed. Ada woke late. Amara woke before sunrise. Ada dressed beautifully and visited friends. Amara scrubbed floors until her fingers hurt. Ada watched movies in the living room. Amara cooked, cleaned, and ran errands. When neighbors visited, Auntie Ngozi smiled proudly at Ada, but for Amara there were only instructions. Go buy pepper, wash those clothes, clean the backyard. Even when she was tired, even when she looked pale, no one asked how she felt. One afternoon, Auntie Ngozi handed her a large bucket. Go fetch water from the river. Amara hesitated. The river? But isn't there a well nearby? Ngozi's voice turned sharp. The well is for this house. The river water is fine for washing. Ada smirked quietly. Amara said nothing. Everyone in the village knew the river was dangerous. The current was strong. The path was lonely. Stories were told of people slipping, never returning. But she had no choice. The path to the river wound through tall grass. The sun burned her skin. She heard insects buzzing and distant bird cries. Her heart beat faster as the water came into view. It moved restlessly, like something alive. She knelt carefully, filling the bucket. Suddenly, a loud splash nearby startled her. She froze. Was it a fish? An animal? She didn't wait to find out. With trembling hands, she lifted the heavy bucket and hurried home. By the time she arrived, her arms shook. Auntie Ngozi barely looked at her. Good, go and wash the clothes. Not even a thank you. That night, Amara sat outside alone under the moonlight. She remembered her mother's gentle voice. If her mother were alive, she would never allow this. A tear rolled down her cheek. She wiped it quickly. She didn't want anyone to see her weakness. Behind her, laughter echoed from inside. Ada and her friends were enjoying music. Amara hugged her knees. For the first time, she truly felt like an outsider. Weeks passed, and the torment grew. Sometimes Auntie Ngozi sent her on errands just to embarrass her. Go return this plate to the neighbor. When she arrived, the neighbor would say, "Again? Didn't you come here this morning?" She realized they were unnecessary tasks, busy work, punishment disguised as responsibility. One afternoon, she overheard Ada whispering to her mother, "Why do you keep her here anyway?" Ngozi replied quietly, "She should learn life is hard. Nobody will spoil her." She stood frozen behind the door. Her chest tightened. She understood then this was intentional. One morning she slipped while carrying water from the river. The bucket fell, spilling everything. She stared at the water soaking into the earth. Her energy disappeared. When she returned empty-handed, Ngozi exploded. "You useless girl! Go back and fetch it again!" "I'm tired," she whispered. The words escaped before she could stop them. Silence filled the air. Ngozi's face hardened. "You think this is a hotel? As long as you live here, you work." Ada watched, amused. Amara turned away, tears burning her eyes. Something inside her cracked. That afternoon, she returned to the river. This time, she sat beside the water before filling the bucket. She felt defeated. Then a voice spoke behind her. "Child, why do you cry?" She turned quickly. An elderly woman stood there leaning on a walking stick. Her face was kind. Amara hesitated, then words poured out. She spoke about losing her parents, about the chores, about feeling invisible. The woman listened quietly. When Amara finished, the woman smiled gently. "Pain does not stay forever," she said, "but it teaches strength." She helped Amara lift the bucket. "Your story is not finished." When Amara turned to thank her again, the woman was already walking away slowly, disappearing into the trees. From that day, something changed. Amara still worked, still fetched water, but she began carrying herself differently. She stopped expecting kindness and started building resilience. Neighbors noticed. "Such a hard-working girl," they said. "She's respectful." Even the village women began greeting her warmly. Ada noticed too, and jealousy crept into her heart. because while she rested, people praised Amara. One rainy season evening, thunder rolled across the sky. The river swelled dangerously. Auntie Ngozi called out, "Amara, we need water before night. Go quickly." Amara stared at the dark clouds. "Auntie, the river is dangerous today. Are you refusing?" She lowered her eyes and took the bucket. The rain began as she reached the water. The current roared. She stepped carefully, then slipped. The bucket floated away. She grabbed a branch, heart pounding. For a moment, fear consumed her. She thought of her parents. She thought of how her life might end there. Gathering strength, she pulled herself up and crawled to safety. She ran home, drenched and shaking. Auntie Ngozi looked annoyed. "Where is the water?" Amara trembled. "I almost drowned." For the first time, Ada's expression changed. She looked scared.
That night, Ada couldn't sleep. Her mind replayed Amara's terrified face. Slowly, guilt grew. The next morning, when her mother sent Amara again, Ada spoke up. "Why do you always send her? I can go too." Ngozi frowned. "You don't need to." "But she almost died yesterday." Silence. Ngozi's face softened slightly, just for a moment. She looked at Amara, really looked, perhaps seeing her sister's face for the first time. Later that evening, Auntie Ngozi sat alone. Memories flooded her, her late sister laughing, promising they would always support each other. She realized something painful. Her jealousy had blinded her. She had resented Amara because she reminded her of her sister and of her own regrets. She wiped her eyes quietly. The next morning felt different. "Amara," Ngozi called gently. Amara approached cautiously. "Sit, eat first before working." She blinked in surprise. Ada smiled awkwardly. From that day, chores were shared. Ada learned to cook. Amara was allowed rest. The atmosphere slowly shifted, not perfect, but warmer. Months later, the village held a festival. A competition was announced, storytelling and song. Ada pushed Amara forward. "She sings beautifully," she told everyone. Amara hesitated, but stepped forward. Her voice filled the air, soft, emotional, carrying years of hidden pain. The crowd fell silent. When she finished, applause exploded. An elder stood up. "This girl sings with truth," he said. For the first time since losing her parents, Amara smiled freely. That night, as fireworks lit the sky, Auntie Ngozi placed a hand on Amara's shoulder. "I was wrong," she said quietly. "I forgot you were a child who needed love, not punishment." Amara's eyes filled with tears. "I just wanted to belong." Ngozi nodded. "You do." Ada joined them, wrapping her arm around Amara. 3 figures stood together. Family, finally. Some wounds cannot be seen. The pain of an orphan is not just the loss of parents, it is the fear of being unwanted. But sometimes the hardest journeys lead us to healing, and sometimes the people who hurt us must first face their own hearts before love can return. If this story touched you, remember, kindness can change someone's whole life, because you never truly know what pain someone is carrying silently. Every orphan deserves love. Every heart deserves a home.